1995. Through this gal over here that you've heard from, Dolly, I met a girl from Wisconsin, far away from home in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm a fellow Wisconsinite. We had her over to dinner one night, and I think my son must have been all of 13 years old at the time. And what sticks in my mind is this 13-year-old sitting at the table with his chin on his hands, listening intently to what was being said at the dinner table. And it was just words of wisdom, words of kindness, shared stories. And it was coming from my friend Therese, who was a relatively new friend at the time. And I realized what a gift I had in this gal, and I value so much. And Dean, I know you know it, but we all know it who've been graced with her friendship. You've got a diamond, and she's meant the world in terms of recognizing what people need and being able to meet those needs and being there for people in good times and bads. And Jules and I and all of our family wish you guys the best and know that you have truly found soulmates in each other.
Great.
Panorama. The good Reverend approaches once again.
Jesus.
Thank you, Greg.
Hopefully not at the time you send this.
Greg did a great sentence.
So I'm Bill Downa, and you've seen me in a different attire earlier. I need to confess to you that I hate following funnier people, so I wish you'd have me on after. I also want you to know that the other 4 of the 5 smarter people were in prison. And otherwise unavailable. I've known Dean for a long time, and actually I knew Dean first as an opponent. I represented government, Dean represented clients, and he would be on the other side of cases. And I grew to respect him and his willingness and ability to understand the law and to be kind in his instruction and advocacy, and to find common ground for his clients in terms of finding resolution. He's a different type of lawyer. He's a lawyer that doesn't just bill to bill. He tries to find resolution. And we struck up a friendship over time. Dean has the capacity, as his sister has indicated, to speak extemporaneously, and he is quite well known by the lawyers as someone who teaches the law to them. And, my wife and I once were invited to be on the dais with Dean and an instruction of lawyers, and Dean got up and he was glib. He spoke without notes. People were captivated. And then I came up. And I told our table earlier that W.C. Fields used to have a saying, never appear with children and animals. And my saying was never appear with Dean Richards. You can never beat him. He's so good and he's gifted. He was the son of Dick Richards. And that is no small task. And he handled it as a man with incredible capacity and strength, and grew as a person, and was respected, not as the son of Dick, but as Dean Richards, the attorney. So I want to say that because I think it's important for all of us who are sons of someone. The other thing I want to say is that Dean and I share the experience of having had the exposure to the big C. We both have diagnoses in our past of prostate cancer. We both have had to deal with it. I had to deal with it from my father's own death from the very same disease at 61. And so it is a profound moment when you are facing that question as to what it looks like in your life. And so I have learned over time, having watched a lot of human horror that comes in and out of our court system, that our life really has a beginning, a middle, and an end to it. And our best day is the day that we can reflect back and see a life of contribution and a moment that's three-dimensional in terms of our community. Dean, Richards, and Therese, I think, will experience the ability to kind of grow together and contribute to our lives. We all love them. I have never seen Dean happier than I have on two occasions. One, when he's talking about his own children. And secondly, when he's talking about Therese. Congratulations, my friend.
What a good hike team.
Sure, that's an easy one to follow. I'm Dan O'Rourke. I'm a friend of Dean and T's from the Lorraine, and I'll be the first one up here from the Lorraine because I've just finished my third Jameson, so I'm going to get up there. My partner Marilyn and I live at the Lorraine and have been friend of Dean and T since we met them. And in a very teeny way, I take some responsibility for them being together because I'm the one that drugged Dean down to Breeks the night that T came down and they sort of went on their first unofficial date. I'd like to take credit for that, but I can't because there's one person that deserves more credit than I do, and Dean and T will probably remember this person and no one else in the room will. But if you didn't know Dave Mahoney, only Dean and T will know about this because Dave Mahoney is the reason they went on their first date, and I'll let it go at that. And I just want to say that these two are two of the greatest people I've ever met. They're great neighbors, they're great friends, and I think they're going to be just really happy together. Congratulations, you guys.
They stand up slower and slower. Russ, was that a nomination?
Yes.
Ah! Silence kills them.
I did not try to kill him. I did not. Do not believe a word he says.
Now you sound like an attorney who's claiming.
I'm not supposed to be up here, okay? I was nominated by my table.
That'll be table 5.
3 weeks ago, my daughter got married. I had something prepared. I have nothing prepared for this evening.
Use the same speech.
Same speech? Could I substitute Paul for Dean? I don't think so. All right, here we go. Therese, good luck. I have a law degree. I don't own a fire truck. I've ridden on fire trucks for too many years. And under the guidance of Chief Dean Richards, I learned a lot. Dean was one of the premier fire chiefs in Waukesha County. When it comes to the management of emergency scenes, there is no one better that can manage those scenes than Dean Richards. Dean is a very good friend of mine. Many years ago, he was closing on a real estate deal with my wife and myself. And Dean expressed an interest in the fire service. And I said to him, I said, you know, Dean, our department is always looking for good people. You should probably apply. Shortly thereafter, Dean did apply. He became a member of the department. He moved up on the department. Soon thereafter, he became a chief of the town of Delafield Fire Department. That department has not had a better chief than Dean Richards. Therese, you're again a good man. Granted, that man, due to his desire to protect the environment, almost killed me. However, my good friends Jim and Mark saved Dean and I. But he is a man of character, and he's a good friend. He will never leave your side. He never left my side. He always protects your backside. Congratulations.
Convictions aside, continue with the night. Judge, you didn't hear that one, correct? Thank you. Table 5, I think you guys are cut off. Especially you. All right, are we getting down? Yeah, come on up.
Oh, no.
On that note, I will pass this microphone out.
My name is Larry Meyer, and my wife Ann and Therese have been friends since probably the early 80s, I think, from shortly after Therese moved to Wausau. I think from the first time they met, they hit it off really big. They've been the best of buds ever since. The first time I ever met Therese, I believe you dragged her to Lopno's bar for pool night. I think she drank Old Milwaukee beer with us and had an eventful evening. We will leave that part of the conversation because it has no reference to you. So, anyway, so Dean, just a quick couple of tips for you. One of the first times we went to Arizona to visit Therese before you were part of the picture, we arrived there. Ladies are doing whatever. I'm in watching TV, I come back in. They're sitting on the floor in the closet having a lady moment. I go back, I watch TV, I take a nap, I get done watching Gunsmoke, I come back, they're still on the floor having a lady moment. So if the two of them get together, just let the lady moment last as long as it's gonna last. It's some kind of weird version of female bonding that you and I as males will never be able to relate to. Okay, so just leave that be. And over the years, Therese and I really have had some phenomenal opportunities to have some fantastic conversations. It's really wonderful to have conversations with people like Therese who are so good at what she does. I have a business, so we have a lot of conversations about how you deal with people to do this, how you deal with people to that. If you have this issue, if you have that issue, we bounce stuff back and forth off of each other for decades. We've did that, and it's been a true blessing. So my advice to you, Dean, is if you ever get to the point where you force her to put on her man pants, run.